saying this is not so much to poke fun. I want people go and say, wow, I'm an expert, you can be an expert too, but they don't see all the steps along the way. So that's sort of what I'm trying to show you. Okay, so I did this in a synagogue, so he insisted on wearing a kippah. Okay. And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just to give you an idea of what not to do. I've been in your store, okay, so I am pleasantly, every time I come there, I'm surprised the wide range of the merchandise. And there are suits in many, many different colors. You've got brown suits and light, I think you've got some yellow suits, and you've got blue, and you've got some green, and you've got some black.
And even orange.
And even orange. And probably rust, too. But most people like which color?
Black, without a doubt, is our most popular color.
Uh-huh.
It's terrific for all occasions.
So now you know why I always wear black. It's terrific for all occasions, right? So at any rate, so now you'll notice if you have two people, okay, so you get advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is it's much easier to be alive and alert and be excited when you're talking to somebody. Somebody's asking you questions. Can you see that? Does that make sense to you? Right? If you have somebody coming up. Okay. The downside is, okay, so how do I want to sit there with my knees touching his knees?
No.
Right? So, and if you're too far away, so then you barely see anybody. And if you're too close, then I get cut off, and this sort of didn't work. Now, if you, with video editing, okay, you can actually cut, you can crop this so that only he's showing. Okay? But then again, this is the next step. This is a simple green screen. This actually could work if it would go all the way down. And then the advantage of having a green screen is that you can pull out the green and you could throw in a different picture behind it. Okay, as I'm going to show you. Okay, so this again is the next step. It's a little bit better. The picture, he's a little bit centered. The other problem that I'm going to have with this, if I try to green screen, is I can tell him what to wear. So he comes in wearing a green tie. Now, if I make green invisible, his tie is going to disappear. But that was my mistake because I didn't tell him. Like now he's wearing a blue tie. That would have worked. But then he was wearing a green tie. So, okay. So I couldn't do the green screen anyway. Okay, let's go. Screen. Okay, so this is a green screen. Now this is actually done. This doesn't look so great in the first screen. Well, whatever. But this is actually done in the Skokie Public Library. They have what's called the Digital Media Lab. And they have a green screen. And the lighting's great. The lighting's coming from the ceiling. So it works phenomenal. And I'll show you what happens after this, but let's just play this a little bit.
Good morning. Could you please, before we begin, could you please introduce yourself?
I'm Holly Robinson. I have been selling promotional products for about
So that's not really
25 years or more. So
I guess I needed a faster computer. But again, you could see somebody sitting there looking at a camera. It's like a deer in headlights. Like what? But if you have somebody talking on some point, now here we did something in between of it. I'm off camera, so I can get a good shot of half her place. But also, you'll notice this: where your focus is on is over like about here. Okay, there's something called the rule of thirds, but basically you don't want the face of the person in the center. Okay, you want them maybe not exactly there, maybe a little bit higher to like over here, but it's close. Okay, and she's not facing completely to the side like Jim Cooper was. She's not exactly facing the camera, so it sort of works. Now, let's see the final production. So you've got a title screen.
Promotional products.
Now there's a green screen behind
There
her.
are people's catalogs. It's really all the same stuff. So what makes you different?
you're right, it is the same stuff, but
That's really cool.
it's how it's implemented,
Right.
it's how you create a program, it's how you think it through that makes the difference. And honestly, as a woman of substance, I make the difference. I sit with you, I talk with you, I learn about your business, and I help you not just pay for things. We all like to make money, and I like to sell promotional merchandise, but it's even better when it gets you the response you want, and that matters to me. It matters to me that you're going to have an effectiveness rate and results as something that happens as a result of our relationship. So what you don't get on the web, what you don't get from a mail order catalog, is a relationship, a consultative, coaching relationship with the person that's helping you with your promotional merchandise. You can't get that online.
So one of the things that I work with her is after I'm going and coming up with a whole list of questions, and she's answering all the questions, and I'm doing the editing the video, I realized, oh, so this and this is what you do. And I was able to tell her, like in very short, what do you get when you cross a sculptor and a psychologist? You get a lady that sells tchotchkes. Because as a psychologist, she knows how to motivate people, and as a sculptor, she understands she has a great tactile sense and an artistic sense to be able to produce really good stuff that will motivate your prospects to do business with you. Okay? But what happens is people are inside of themselves and they don't understand how people outside. But when I work with you, right, if I help you produce your video, I will be able to show you what your marketing message is after you finished all the 2 hours of talking about around and around about what you do, and not what makes you unique. It would be really great if you knew yourself what makes you unique, but very few people really understand how they and their personalities come to the business that they're in. So one of the things that helps when you use me to help you with your video is I'll get that message.